Where Governor Kathy Hochul has deployed thousands of National Guard troops to help secure 36 state-run prisons amid an illegal corrections officer strike. Union officials who have confirmed they did not authorize the strike say the officers are demanding better pay, more thorough searches of visitors, and a reversal of new limits placed on solitary confinement. So here with us now to discuss the situation and the wide-ranging impacts, I'd like to welcome in New York State Assemblyman Scott Gray. Assemblyman, thank you so much for giving us some of your time. So from your perspective, what is happening right now in your state when it comes to the prisons there?
Yeah, most of the prisons are out right now. Most of the COs are not working. They've left their post or last week, a week ago. And it's really, I would tell you, it's really centered around safety. So there's, some extreme work circumstances. And let me just say, this is essentially what unions, the generation of what unions were intended for, to make sure that there's workplace conditions that are safe, to operate in. So we're talking about, the HALT Act, which has been detrimental to their discipline, their ability to discipline, and as well as their authority in these institutions, as well as escalating drug exposure.
Yeah, and we know, Assemblyman, the governor is saying that this is disruptive. It's an unsanctioned work stoppage by these corrections officers. And again, as we said at the top, the union says that this is unsanctioned, but we know that these officers are demanding better working conditions, better pay, more safety. What do you think it's going to take to get a resolution?
Yeah, so it's mainly it's not so much pay. They're not concerned about pay. They're mainly concerned about workplace safety. And that's why we're really saying this is really a work stoppage. And that's because it is not contractual issues that they're dealing with. They're dealing with fundamental workplace safety issues, things that are imposed on them unilaterally, either by the legislature or by the department, by the agency itself. So that's what we want changed. That's what they want changed. And we support them in their effort to get, to safety. So let me just say that the HALT Act has, is protecting inmates as much as, or incarcerated individuals, as much as it's protecting the workforce that's inside those facilities. And the institutions, these prisons are becoming increasingly weaponized in order out of self-preservation by inmates, and that is presenting extreme dangers for these for the COs as well as the civilian staff. We have two other units in there. We have PEF, Public Employees Federation, and we have CSEA that are in there as well. So our concern is for the safety of all workforce that is in these facilities.
Absolutely. And we know that, corrections officers really do deal with a lot. Certainly not an easy job. So as we said, there are now more than 3,500 National Guard members who are responding in the place of these corrections officers. Do you think that's a good use of resources? Do you think it's a good use of those troops?
No, absolutely not. And let me just say, the corrections officers that are out right now on this informational picket or this work stoppage, they want to be back to work as much as anybody else wants them back to work. But they want to do it under safe conditions. This is not appropriate for the National Guard. The National Guard is in there. They're not trained corrections officers. They're in deteriorating situations. The incarcerated individuals, they can count. They know when they have, and we saw that with the facilities such as Riverview that was overtaken by the incarcerated individuals. So they know when it's in their favor to control an operation. So the National Guard people, our thoughts are with them as much as anybody else. We need to have them removed. We need to have the corrections officers put back, but we need to have them put back in what we're saying is very safe conditions.
Absolutely.
Both safe from weapons and drug exposure. Drug exposure is one of the major concerns for these individuals that work in these facilities.
And well, we certainly hope this is resolved soon. New York Assemblyman Scott Gray, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.
And we'll be right back.